When a child has a meltdown, refuses to listen, lashes out, our first instinct often is, how do I stop this behavior? If you're a parent of an ADHD, autistic, sensory processing difference child, or a PDAR, you know what I mean. But the behavior is not the problem. The behavior is the message. When we focus on only fixing the behaviors, we're missing the deeper truth of what's actually going on for our child. We're missing a beautiful opportunity to connect from the heart, which is what heart-centered parenting is all about. Our child is trying to communicate. Welcome to Glow Within. My name is Katie Connolly. I'm a mom of two, clinical counselor, somatic and craniosacral therapist, and my work is centered around empowering neurodiverse families. So in our society, and I've been saying this for many years now, in fact, my children's yoga training or school to teach educators, therapists, and parents really focuses on this, on listening to the heart of the matter of what's really going on for our children. But this isn't necessarily normal because we've been taught sort of the ABA or the applied behavior approach for so long. So if you've been following this, that's okay. You're doing what the normal parenting sort of rhetoric and education out there is saying to do, right? You're doing your best, and that's great, but we do our best until we learn better. So this approach is based on the A being what happens before the behavior, the antecedent, the B is the behavior, and the C is the consequence, so what happens after the behavior. I like to look at it this way. A, B, and then C instead of being consequence, compassion and curiosity. So very rarely do we look at the A, what happened before the behavior, right? We see the behavior, let's deal with the behavior. We live in a culture that for so long has sort of reinforced and praised compliance and punishes big behaviors, big feelings, things that are outside of the normal window that we like to accept. Schools hand out stickers, maybe even we give rewards, and I do too, and that's okay, but it's how we're doing it and how we're tuning in when there is a challenging behavior that really matters here. So if you're like me, you might have family members who said they just need more discipline. They're testing you. You need to be more firm with them. Fair. I believe boundaries are a good thing, and it's important to collaborate on our boundaries so we have mutual understanding, right? Having the boundaries is important because it does create a sense of safety for the child. It lets them know this is the safe space and the parameters, but thinking about why we're setting the boundaries, right? So getting back again to that intention behind why we're doing something is really, really important and powerful. Not just setting willy-nilly boundaries all over the place, right? Because then, of course, we're either going to raise a very compliant child who will be following, who leans more to the fawning responses, or a child who's going to fight that, right? And that's where we see lots of butting of heads. So as a parent, when you're already overwhelmed and exhausted, it is normal to think, I just need to stop this. That's okay. You're not alone in this experience. But when we're able to nourish ourselves, we're better able to respond from a place of compassion and curiosity. So when our child maybe they're melting down after a long day, and maybe they're crying about something that seems really inane to us. There's often the tendency to look at what is actually going on rather than what is underlying what they're displaying, really, like that behavior, right? So when we treat the behavior as the problem, it's like we're seeing a fire alarm going off in our house and trying to smash that alarm instead of looking for the fire. We wouldn't do that, right? The alarm or the behavior is the signal. It's sort of a protective mechanism. The smoke detector is saying something's wrong, pay attention. Right? And this is, again, what a lot of the somatic work is about. So our children's behavior works in the same way. A meltdown might be a signal that they've had a really rough day. Maybe somebody said something that hurt their feelings that day. Aggression might be the signal, or screaming might be the signal that they're feeling unsafe. But if we just treat the aggression, or if we just treat the screaming, then we're shutting off the signal without getting to the root of what is going on for them and in their world. And again, it might not be a huge deal to us, but it's obviously a big deal to them. And when we miss these moments of connection, we miss creating safety for our children and that deeper emotional support and nervous system. I don't like to use the word regulation, but co-regulation and awareness and ability to learn how to process what's going on in a healthy way. So if we flip it and if we approach the behavior as communication, then we might say, what is this behavior trying to tell me, rather than how do I stop this? And we do need to be nourished ourselves to do this most of the time. So what is this behavior telling me? Is my child's system overloaded by sound, light, touch? What happened for them that day? Why is their nervous system running on empty or on overdrive? How can I help them to co-regulate? Are they hungry, tired, in need of movement? Or is there something deeper going on for them? Is there fear, frustration, shame, or something that they can't quite put into words yet? And again, this is where the somatic work comes in. Sometimes it can be really difficult, particularly for sensitive and neurodivergent individuals and children, and non-speaking, to be able to put it into words, right? We feel it in our body first, and you can go back and look at some of my other videos on neuroception and interoception in particular to understand how to work with this. So when we're able to make this shift, everything changes. We become the safe place for them. We're able to see the crisis not as a problem, but as a way to help our child create safety and connection for themselves, to feel validated and heard, and be able to find a healthy solution to move through this challenge, which may help them with future challenges. So we can keep holding on to the belief that the behavior is the problem and we need to fix that, which of course just leads to exhaustion, guilt, shame, and conflict. Unless you have a little follower who is very compliant, and that's also not the safest thing to be reinforcing, because they might follow something that leads them into danger one day, right? So we want, it's healthy, it's normal for our children to get angry at us, to challenge us. I would much rather raise a child that's going to question me and wants to and needs to understand the why, even though it's so tiring, because I want them to think critically for themselves. I want them to think, okay, is this safe for me or is this not? Is this healthy for me? Is this not? And be able to stand up to peer pressure and to make educated decisions for themselves. Or we can choose a new way, where the behavior is that doorway that we can walk through to understand on a deeper level what is going on for our children, where we're able to really connect from the heart to be able to create that space of safety and connection for our child, so that they can then come to us again when they're struggling with a challenge, and know that we have the capacity, that we have the wisdom to be able to guide them through their challenges, big or small. Our children are not trying to give us a hard time, right? They're having a hard time. You've probably heard that before. And when we take that moment to understand the message behind the behavior, we can respond with curiosity, with compassion, with strength, and reduce overwhelm in the family system. So if you're ready to make this shift, comment Nourish and I'll send you my free 4-day reset and reconnect.